What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Aaron, and today we just have a quick video for you guys on it's not really a tool, but an organizer container. I don't really know how to describe, but anyways, basically they are cylinder head organizers. When you take your cylinder heads apart, you want to keep your valves and springs all going in the same spot. So if you're reusing your parts, so these things are numbered, and it definitely beats using cardboard. Using cardboard sucks. I hate doing it. So I found these online. Now up here in Canada, we've got a store called Princess Auto, and that's where I found them. This is the cylinder head organizer. So you can see they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is for the left side. And then if we spin it around, we have the right side. Now, unfortunately, it only does 8 valves. So old school V8s, one intake, one exhaust. That'll do one right head, and then the other side will do the left head for a total of 16 valves. Now, if you were doing a 4-cylinder 16-valve engine, that is going to eat up all 4 cylinders in one shot. So what I did was I bought 2 of them. I've got the second one in the box here, and what we'll do now is quick demonstration on how to put it together, on how easy it is. It literally only takes a few minutes to put one of these together. So there's a very small amount of parts. There's instructions and screws. And then the top itself is just one big giant piece. As you can see, there's these tabs here and here and here. You only use a few of those, so as you can see here, these ones were broken off, but not a big deal. And all you need to do this job is a Phillips screwdriver. One tool. We'll get all our stuff opened up here. Like I said, I did the first one just so this process went a little bit faster. Like I said, I got these from Princess Auto. They were on clearance. I think they cost me $3.99 Canadian each. So literally less than $10. And there's your instructions there. As you can see, it's called FACOM. Sounds about right to me anyway. Anyways, and there is the part number or product number. Anyways, so you've got 2 side panels, 2 end panels, 12 screws, and the top organizer portion itself. And there's the instructions there. You put the side and end panels together, and then you flip it upside down, and then they will clip into those tabs that I showed you just a minute ago. And then you have your final product. And of course, the screws here go from the top down into the bottom frame. Another thing, in step 1 here, it shows these. They look like screws. I believe they're rubber grommets. They're supposed to be like rubber feet. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find them. I don't think they're included. So if you did want some, you'd have to, I guess, get some yourself, unfortunately. So these are your I guess side or ends, whatever you want to call them. They do have little holes there if you to pick up as a unit. And the holes, you can see how they're offset closer to the top. So you want the opening closer to the top side. And then these are the end panels or side panels, whichever you want to reference them as. And then there, nice logo. And then the other panel is just plain black. Now, when you put these together, so obviously this one you have the logo, it's not really hard to figure out, but this one corner on the bottom is cut on an angle and the top one is cut squarely. So, and the easiest way to tell, there's your angle cut, there's your square cut, and then these go together just like that. And on the bottom, if I can get it here, you can see the angles go together. The holes are all pre-drilled. And then all you do is just hand tighten your screws into the panels. You can see I got the 2 screws in there. And then they hold the 2 corners together. It's actually pretty sturdy. They're not flimsy at all. It's not like flimsy sheet metal. They're actually quite strong. There, you can see there. They're pretty. They stand on their own. They're not falling over. You're not bending the sides. So anyway, grab the next panel. I like to do one end at a time. If you had a second person that, you know, could hold it at the other end here to help stabilize, that would be the best. And as you can see there, I'm not touching it, and it's, for the most part, holding itself in place. It hasn't bent or anything. 2 screws per corner. So once you get the one end done, it's pretty nice. You can just stand it up on its end like so. And then just stick your other plate right on top. And then just do the last 4 screws for the frame. Like I said, you could just use a piece of cardboard, but if you're doing lots of engines, it gets kind of tedious to keep having to find cardboard and, you know, make new ones because the cardboard gets oily and soaked and falls apart. I'm sure some guys have some other methods of keeping valve train organized for your cylinder heads. But like I said, for a mere $4 per one of these, I thought this was a pretty slick way to do it. Being that it's plastic and metal, I can just shoot some brake cleaner at it and clean it up nice and easy. And that being said, you can't shoot brake cleaner at your cardboard because it'll just ruin it. So these are cleanable and you can use them over and over. If you have a V6 with 4 valves per cylinder, you're going to need at least 2 of these. A V6 with 4 valves per cylinder, you'd be short 4 cylinders. So you would definitely need 1.5 of these to do a V6 with 4 valves per cylinder. If you're doing a V8 with 4 valves per cylinder, you're definitely going to use all your slots. So you'll need 2 full ones. And even the 4 cylinders, like if you're doing a Volkswagen or an Audi with a 1.8T, which is a 20 valve cylinder head, that's 5 valves per cylinder, you're going to be five spots short. So I bought 2. They were cheap. Will I use all of them? Maybe. Who knows? Dealing with the older Ford big block stuff, I will get away with using just one at a time. But, the day may come where I need both of them. I have done Volkswagen 1.8Ts, and it wasn't as much of a big deal because I didn't reuse those valves. I ordered 20 new valves. And then, so they all went back into different spots. And then, like I was saying, those slots, you probably can't really see them. It's dark, but they just slot into those little tabs I showed you earlier. And not quite in on this corner. There you go. Just got to get this other corner now. There. So now once it's clipped in, so you can see there's your grab handle. I mean, you could grab it by here, but if you've got stuff in these holes, they're going to be filled. So you can grab those handles. And then, so for the final step here, you can see this hole right here. So there's one in each corner, and that just secures your organizer to the base frame. You don't want to use a drill because these just bite into the pre-drilled holes in the metal frame. And if you use a drill or an electric screwdriver, you can over torque it, strip out the holes, and then the screws aren't going to bite in anymore. You'd probably have to drill a bigger hole, and then you're relying on nuts and bolts. So if you just use hand tools, these hold together quite tightly. It's probably hard to tell in the video, but I am giving it quite a good twist to make sure that it's tight. And then put in these last 2 screws. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to want to take this apart and put it back together a whole bunch of times. So they are a bit bulky as far as storage wise goes. I mean, if you had to buy like 4 of them or something, like if you got into anything exotic, even the Ford or Dodge Vipers with the V10s, I'm not sure. Some of them are probably 3 valves. So you're looking at, 3 valves per cylinder, 10 cylinders, that's 30 valves. And you would need more than 2 of these. So obviously 8 and 8 is 16. And 16 times 2 is 32. Well, a V10 you might be all right actually if it's a 3 valve, but like if you're doing a 2000 like a 2003 Mustang Mach 1 with a 32 valve, like you're just going to have enough to do that engine. But like I said, when you get into the the V10s and stuff, you may need up to 3 of these in order to do that job, and like maybe even 4. I don't know. I don't know what engines have what valve configurations, but for the price, you can't go wrong. And just the like I said, just the storage space. So anyways, there you have it. Screws in the top there, and there's one there, and the other one there. So that's what I got for you today, guys. The cylinder head valve train organizer. I've got a few motors coming up that will be completely stripped down as far as taking the heads apart, checking valves, see if they got bent, that sort of thing. We got Sheldon's WRX Subaru engine that's got to come apart. That's sitting over here on the floor. I've also got right there is the 460 EFI big block. Again, that's 2 valves per cylinder. So we'll get away with using one at a time. But I mean, if we end up doing both engines at the same time, I'm going to need one for the Ford engine, and the second one will be for the Subaru engine. And I don't know what the valve configuration is for the Subaru, but again, if it's 4 valves per cylinder times 4 cylinders, that's 16. The Subaru engine will use one of these all by itself. If it's a 2 valve, then you're only going to use 8 spots, so you'd use half. But if it is a 4 valve, that's 16. And most engines nowadays are running 4 valves per cylinder, so you would need one of these just to hold all the 4-cylinder parts. 4 valves, 4 cylinders, 16. That's all spots filled up. So one of these would come in handy. You just have to, so like I said, they got, which way am I going here? Is backwards in the video. So number 1 left and number 1 right. Basically what would happen is you would have to do one side intake, one side exhaust, and then remember which order you took them out in. So if you're going from cylinder 1 to 4, put them in that arrangement, just the exhaust on one side and your intake on the other. So super handy. Like I said, it sure beats cardboard. Like when I'm done, you can tip this over, you shoot it down with some brake clean, wipe it down. It's nice and clean. You don't have to mess around with greasy old cardboard all soggy and then dripping halfway across the shop while you try to get it into the garbage can. Yeah, I thought this was a super cool find, especially for the price. It's going to come in handy, and we're definitely going to utilize these things in future videos. And just thought I'd share that with you guys. Because like I said, I don't like messing with cardboard, and maybe a lot of people didn't know these things even existed, but they do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tool time, we'll say. And if these interest you, like I said, if you're in Canada, check them out at princessauto.ca. And if you're down in the States or wherever in the world, I believe it was facom.com. You can go straight to their website, and then the part number is right there, U43-ORG. So if you want to try and find these yourself from another supplier, like I said, they only cost me $4 each. And yeah, keep your valve train organized when you need to. Like I said, if you're throwing valves away, it's not a big deal because you're going to have to remeasure your springs to your valves and all that stuff. But if you're pulling your valves out to check them and they're all straight and you're going to reuse them and put everything back together, you're definitely going to want to make sure that number one's going back in number one, and number two, and so on and so forth. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.